The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Looking after sheep has never been the most exciting job in the world. But it wasn't until Nico sat on a cold, windy mountainside and listened to the sound of 28 sheep nibbling at some grass that he realized just how unexciting it could be. He tried whistling and discovered he couldn't whistle. He tried chewing a piece of straw. It tasted horrible. There was nothing he could do to change the fact that watching over sheep was dull. To make matters worse, he could hear sounds drifting up from his village in the valley. The sounds of his friends shouting, singing, and laughing. They were all playing together while he was sitting on the top of a mountain with a hungry belly, a cold wind, and 28 sheep for company. As the day went on, Nico felt more and more sorry for himself. And then a slow, sneaky smile spread across his face. He jumped up and started running down the mountain. "Wolf!" he shouted. "There's a wolf! A wolf is attacking the sheep!" The villagers heard him yelling and dropped what they were doing at once. Grabbing brooms and sticks, they all came scrambling up the mountain. When they got to the top, they were red-faced and sweating, heaving, puffing, and panting, but they were ready to fight the wolf. All they saw was a small boy, laughing and clapping his hands with glee. "Tricked you," he said. "I've never seen anything so funny in my whole life." "It's not funny at all," said the baker. "That's because you couldn't see yourself running up the mountain," said Nico. The villagers were not impressed. Grumbling loudly, they strode back down to the village. The next day, Nico was sitting on top of the mountain again, with his herd of sheep, feeling utterly bored. I shouldn't, he thought. I really shouldn't. I definitely shouldn't. "Wolf!" he shouted, unable to help himself. "Wolf!" he yelled at the top of his lungs. "It's really here. It's enormous. Help!" Not all of the villagers came running this time, but most of them did, just in case. Again, they brought their mops and brooms and sticks to scare off the big, bad... Oh, there was no wolf. When they finally got to the top, all they saw was the herd of sheep and Nico. This time he was laughing even harder. "I can't believe you believed me," he said. "That was so funny." "It wasn't funny at all," said the villagers, scowling at them as they stomped off down the side of the mountain. On the third day, Nico was back on the mountain. "There's just nothing to do here," he thought, "except look at the sheep and the wolf holding on." Wolf? Wolf? For the first time there really was a wolf. It leaped out of a clump of trees and ran towards the sheep with a murderous gleam in its eye. "Wolf! Wolf! Wolf!" Nico yelled, running down the side of the mountain. "Wolf!" he screamed as he ran around the village square. "Come quickly! Help me! Help!" Not one of the villagers moved. The teacher slowly turned over a page of his book. The butcher rolled some sausages. The baker iced a small bun. "Help!" Nico begged the villagers. "Please help!" But they all ignored him, and so, eventually, Nico had to walk back up the mountain alone. He was dreading what he would find when he got to the top. Sure enough, the wolf had done its worst. It had killed most of the sheep, while the others had run away. Nico sat down, put his head in his hands, and cried. When night fell, some of the villagers went to look for Nico and found the terrible scene. "Our sheep," they said, "our poor sheep." "Why didn't you help me?" Nico asked in a small voice. But he already knew the answer. "You always lied to us, so we didn't believe you," they replied. "I've learned my lesson," said Nico. "I'll never lie again." The end.